Hey, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Mike Files. Um, I know I said I was going to go live a lot earlier. I had some technical difficulties, big time technical, like special problems. Like I had some really special problems around here tonight. I mean, I had everything all set up, ready to go, and I was like, boom, explosion. It's like nothing works. Um, my camera's not working, so I'm going off the webcam. But at least it's a MacBook M1, so the webcam's not that bad. It works, right? You can see me. I can't see you. Anyway, here we are. Welcome to the Mike Files. We've had just a really interesting time again today. Another interesting time today. Boy, it's really something. I wrote a whole diatribe on the description here for the show tonight, and maybe you read it, maybe you don't. Whatever. I'm trying to go 10 o'clock every night from here on out, and that was my intention tonight. And I decided to do that about 8:30. I thought, okay, cool. I got everything all set up. I'm good to go, right? Like, yeah, it's all fine. Yeah. No, that wasn't all good. So anyway, you can check the show out. Obviously here on YouTube, it should be streaming Facebook Live. There should be a link on Twitter. I just signed up for the Twitch thing today. I don't know what's up with Twitch. Everybody's like, you gotta get on Twitch. All right, I'll get twitchy with it. Whatever. So I set up a whole profile on there. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. Yesterday's stream was supposed to have gone up there, but then it said I didn't stream anything, so I don't know. I need help, obviously, some kind of special help, because this stuff sometimes really gets me, I had a whole long thing I was going to go off about tonight and talk about with everything that's going on and blah, blah, blah. And through my frustrations of getting the computer hooked back up and getting cameras going and getting the sound right and all that, I kind of lost my train of thought, and that's what sucks about doing this is like, you think this stuff is easy, but it's not. You have to, you gotta get a zone. You gotta get it clicking. You gotta get the juice, and then you have distractions from the outside. You gotta tell people in the fucking house to be quiet. You gotta you gotta get everything set up. I mean, it's a motherfucker to do this. People think, oh, you just click a button and you go. No, you don't. Trust me, you don't. I gotta get OBS going. I gotta get cameras going. I got to get sound going. I got to get lighting right. I got to get the monitors right. And then I've got to do I've got a creaky chair. Then I got to do a pre-record little test session just to make sure, because you never know what's going to change. OBS it's open. It's an open broadcast system, so it changes all the time. You never know. Sometimes I'm ready to go. I'll hit go and boom. It's like nothing works. Hopefully this is working. Hopefully I don't sound like robot chicken right now. I might not. I don't know. But the whole big thing in the news has been the goddamn thing with with Trump and the raid. And I like how they called it a raid to begin with, right? It was a raid. And then CNN, MSDNC, the usual suspects, they come out, well, don't call it a raid. What do you call when 30 goddamn FBI agents show up at your house, armed, and they come in with a fucking warrant that Trump is saying, put the warrant out. They took his fucking passports. And that's, and he demanded them back. And then CBS had a reporter come out and say that they didn't have them. Well, they returned them to him. He had 3 passports. 2 of them expired. And then the one that he had was his diplomatic passport from being the president, So, I mean, I don't even have 1 passport. So, hey, he's, But they're not they didn't go in there to take passports. But nobody knows what they went in there to take because they haven't released the affidavits. And the DOJ is saying now that they don't want to release the affidavits because it could be a danger to the public. Well, the danger to the public, or the danger is coming from what they're doing right now, and what they're showing people, that we live in a third world banana republic right now. I mean, they wouldn't let Trump's attorneys look at anything. I've watched interviews with all of them. They didn't even, on the affidavit. See, here's the deal, okay? The Fourth Amendment says that, you're protected from any unlawful search or seizure, your person or your property, and that also includes any kind of paperwork that you have, right? So if they show up, say they show up at your house with a search warrant, it has to say where they're going to be searching and exactly what they're searching for. And they can't get involved in anything else. Well, this was an open warrant that just basically said they could go in and go willy-nilly. And I think that Merrick Garland knows that he's like at the end of his road here, because, the way this was executed, I mean, and he sat on it. He sat on it for weeks, like 2 weeks he sat on this thing. And then he puts it in through this Judge Reinhardt. Okay, now let's go back and let's look at some things here. Okay, and this is just all off the top of my head. Okay, Reinhardt was a U.S. attorney, right? So he's a federal attorney, a prosecuting attorney. Okay, I've dealt with them, real nice people. And he's got Epstein on the hook, right? In the middle of the whole thing, he quits. And then he goes in and represents Epstein's employees. That's a little off. Now he is a U.S. district judge in Florida. All right, 7 weeks ago, Donald Trump and his legal team filed a lawsuit against Hillary Clinton. Now, it went up in front of him, in front of Reinhardt. He recused himself because he said he could not remain unbiased. Okay, so 7 weeks ago, he could not remain unbiased. Okay, so now Merrick Garland sits on this thing for 2 weeks. Now, if anybody hasn't noticed, what do you call it? Skippy has been the president for, well, we're in August, so we're going on, I mean, we're getting up to 2 years, year and 1.75 years, something like that. I mean, if this was such a big deal that Trump had some paperwork, I mean, wouldn't this have been handled? Trump was trying to handle it. His legal team was trying to handle it. They were working with the DOJ. He'd even gone into the DOJ and said, "Hey, what do you need? What would you, what do you want to come get? You can have." I mean, he doesn't care. He's saying release it too. He's like, whatever you got, release it. Set it out there. So, but what he's also concerned about is them planting something. And I would be concerned about that as well, because we've seen with Trump for the last 6 years, they have done nothing but try and smear him for every stupid fucking thing there is. I mean, they said he was doing a quid pro quo with Ukraine. The one that did the quid pro quo was Joe Biden. He's the one that told them to fire that attorney general that was going to look into his kid, or they weren't going to get their $1 billion in aid. He's the one that did that. He said, there's video of it. And the phone call with Trump was recorded, and there was nothing about it. There was nothing about it. He didn't say he was going to withhold anything. He said he didn't throw that out there at Zelensky. And now we've got Zelensky and Trump, or Zelensky and Biden are having a rift. Ukraine's done, folks. It's done. They're finished. I'm sorry. It's over and done. It's been over and done since day one. Everybody wanted to make all these mythological stories about like the ghost of Kyiv and all this goofy and Snake Island. It was all propaganda and lies. The thing was going to end the way that Putin wanted it to end. And you know what? Putin played fucking Biden just like a fucking sock puppet. He stuck his hand right up his ass and fucking started talking. Tell him to say what he wanted. Everybody puts all these sanctions. Look at the problems that the European Union's having right now. They got no fucking, they got all their gas, their natural gas coming from Russia. Fuel, everything. Look at what it's done to us. It's crumbled us because this country wanted the bad orange man out of there so badly that somehow we ended up with what we have now, which is just a clown show. It is a clown show. Our country is a fucking laughingstock. And these fuckers, they travel around the fucking globe like they're like, what do you think people think when fucking they see the planes coming in with Nancy Pelosi? What do you think they're thinking in like Taiwan or where, like, great, fucking here comes this fucking crazy old fucking lady. Here we go. We get to get regaled with a bunch of goofy shit from this lady that's got eyebrows painted up to her fucking forehead. And her son's out there running around doing business deals, which she denies. Oh, he wasn't doing it. Well, why? How come every place she stopped, Nancy, that he was involved with, that companies that are under investigation? I don't know. Kind of weird. Oh, no, Nancy did the right thing. She told the Chinese off. And she said, we're not going to be told what to do. Why would she even go there? The reason she went there was to protect her interests. They're invested in the chips. I mean, that's a big part of this bill. That dickhead just showed up today, right? He's been on fucking vacation, right? He just got back from his second fucking bout of COVID. His wife's got COVID now. Now, we wish her a speedy recovery and hope she's all right. We obviously don't wish anybody ill, But now she's got the COVID. And so he comes back in today, right? So he's been on vacation. We paid for it. And Hunty was on the vacation as well. So we all paid for that. All right? Who's taking a hit at the gas pump? Who's taking a hit at the grocery store? Yeah, hi, all of us, right? All of us. We all have. And this dude's gallivanting around in Air Force One, racking up whatever the thing. I've tried to figure the exact cost per hour, and it's very difficult to figure out. I mean, I can get close, but I can't get it down to a round number. But it's a lot of money. We paid for him to go to the Middle East and wander around and talk about the honor of the Holocaust, is what he said. That was another good gaffe. The honor of and he's stumbling over his dick. I mean, we all saw it. We've seen it every day. We watched him come the other day. He just gets back the other day, gets off of the helicopter, walks down there by where the two servicemen are sitting, and there, the one guy on the right, I can't even imagine having to sit there. You got to sit there and think, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And dude's sitting there trying to put his jacket on. He's fumbling and flopping around. He's got his fucking stupid mask on, Jill's over there in her drapery, whatever. She mugged that from a Walmart fucking store. It looked like she just took down a drape and somebody made it into a dress. It's probably a $5,000 fucking outfit. I don't know. I don't understand. Ladies, tell me, why do y'all wear them pantsuit, weird looking fucking thing? Why don't you just dress like a fucking human being? Wear all that goofy shit and look all silly. I don't know. It damn sure is not, I don't know, in my mind, not very attractive when you look like a Kirby vacuum cleaner. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, allegedly, or not. I don't know. I just feel like why do you see and I'm sorry, I guess I'm defining a female, which is something we're not supposed to do. But if we can't define a female, then why do y'all dress like females? If the guy that shot the place up in Illinois on the 4th of July and made his escape, and the media and the authorities defined him as escaping by dressing up in female's clothing, but yet we can't define a female, then what's going on here? What's going on here? We don't look the same. We're not the same. They're XY, XX. Chromosomes. It is biology, motherfuckers. It ain't hard to figure out. It is not hard to figure out. Now, you want to go and play whatever you want to play, then play whatever you want to play. You want to play that you're this, play that you're that, that's fine. But you're not. Okay? You're not. Even if you go and get your junk removed, and however they go about putting a kid in your gut, I mean, where's it coming out of? I don't know how that works. I really don't want to know how that works. But you got that one goofy that well, she can't define a female either. I'm calling her she because she had a she name and she looked like a she. I mean, I'd say she's a female. But when she was asked the question about can a man get pregnant and have an abortion, she goes, yes. And she was asked about, can you define, I think we define it. It's crazy. It's silly. I mean, okay, we have pets, right? We have livestock. We have chickens. We get a lot of things from animals, okay? All right. Now, according to science, human beings are animals, correct? Now, can you take two bulls and throw them out there and have them, one of them get pregnant? No, you're going to end up with probably one dead bull and one that's half dead. Which is why if you know anything about cattle, you don't intermix the bulls. All right. Let's go to the wild kingdom. All right. During the rut with deer, elk, what have you. Do you see a doe climb up on a doe and mount it, and all of a sudden they've got fawns? No. Do you see two cow elk or what? You can see what the bull elk do. They fight. They go at it. They get down. Same with bighorn sheep. So, do they just all of a sudden decide I'm a female? This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to act like or treat something that's not reality like it's reality. You want to play pretend land? You want to play pretend I'm this, I'm that? Go ahead. Fine. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. If you're a dude and you decide that you want to be a chick, then go be a chick and tell me your name and I'll call you that. But don't sit there and tell me that you can legitimately have a kid and an abortion and menstruate and all this. That's not how it goes. It doesn't work that way. This is common sense. This is logic. This is reality. It's biology. It's the way it is. Can you put two dudes together? And I mean, you can, sure. They do that all the time. You might get the monkeypox. That's going to be your baby. You're going to have a monkeypox baby. From what you can't put two dudes together and they have intercourse and end up with a child. It does not work that way. And if I'm going to get put out there and put on blast for saying that, I'm sorry, but that is not the fucking reality of things. You know? I'm sorry. We have to wake up and realize what the fuck is going on. You want to go putt from the rough? You want to go do whatever it is you're going to do? Go do what you're going to do. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. I don't give a shit. But don't sit there and tell me this bullshit. And then fight about it and argue about it and wear stupid hats and prance around and act dumb. You want to be a chick? Go be a chick. You want to be if you're a chick, you want to be a dude? Go be a dude. I don't give a fuck. Go take your hormones, whatever. You know. I mean, the difference is that the chick who becomes a dude and goes and takes the hormones. I mean, you know. You can't say that that's a dude getting pregnant. You can say, okay, now this person is identified as a male, but they're not a male. They can identify as that. That's fine, but still, even with the hormones and growing a little bit of fucking chin fuzz, you still got. Did you have your ovaries removed, or I don't know how that all works. I don't know. It kind of makes me kind of twisted up inside, even thinking about these surgeries, and I can't even imagine what the aftermath is like. But whatever. If you got that, I know there's dudes out there that just have the necessity to cut their junk off, and I guess if that's what you got to do, then that's what you got to do. But, whatever. To each his own. Just don't do it in front of me. Or if you do, I guess let me tape it, and I don't know. That's some morbid shit. But no, anyways, this is just crazy. It's a crazy world, you know. These people are doing whatever they can to keep Trump from running. And then we got the likes of like Peter Strzok, right? This is the guy that was cheating on his wife with Lisa Page, right? Both FBI agents. There's recordings. There's text messages between the two of them where she's asking him, well, Trump's not going to get elected, right? And he says, no. And even if he did, we have insurance. We'll make sure that doesn't happen. He gets fired, right? I mean, you're an FBI agent, right? Your business is not in the elections, right? I mean, the only reason as an FBI agent that you'd be involved in elections is if there was crooked shit going on. You got a guy like Douglas Mackey, right? They called him a right-wing Twitter troll because he put out goofy memes. And he's looking at doing 10 years in prison right now. Hunty Biden, he's floating around on Air Force One, just, willy-nilly, going God knows where, getting, picking up his prostitutes and smoking his crack and getting illegal guns, and he's fine. But a guy like Douglas Murray, he's sitting there looking at doing 10 years over some memes, some goofy memes. He's a right-wing Twitter troll. Who cares? And if let me tell you what, if you're so stupid out there, if you're so dumb that you're going to formulate your vote based on a meme on social media, then you probably shouldn't be allowed to even vote, really. You probably shouldn't have kids. You probably should just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not giving you any suggestions, but if you're influenced by somebody's meme on Bookface or Instagram or Crap Chat or any of that shit, I don't know. You might want to reevaluate. But then again, if you're influenced by that, you don't have the capacity to reevaluate because you can't even do any introspection on yourself because you're a moron. And the morons are the scary ones. The idiots, you can deal with the idiots. It's the morons, like Nixon said, goddamn screwheads, and pound the thing out. Screwheads. Those are the ones that are unpredictable and you don't know about. But if you're so stupid that you were influenced in the last election by a meme on Twitter to make your vote, dude, straight up, man, you're getting a dumbass thing. You're getting a Red Foreman. You know what I'm saying? Red Foreman, foot up the ass. You're dumb. Straight up stupid. And unfortunately, that's what we've come to in this country, is this absolute asinine idiots. I mean, right or left, there's, my issue is the reason that I speak out most of the time about these idiots on the Democrat side of things is because they're the ones pulling all the stupid shit. I mean, this whole thing with Trumpy and them going down there and just going willy-nilly through his wife's closet and all that shit. Come on. The dude has never had a sip of alcohol. He's never smoked a cigarette. He's never done drugs. I mean, he I don't know what would have happened had he been able to go through his 4 years and not had the Russia collusion hoax. And these idiots are still trying to bring that back. You got Peter Strzok, the idiot that got fired. They re-implemented his 401k. And now he's a fucking talking head on TV. And he's sitting there talking about the integrity of the FBI. Now, who's listening to that? Lisa Page, same. Okay, number one, he's cheating on his wife with her. They're colluding, right? They're trying to fuck with the election. He's so much as told her that if Trump does win, we're not going to let that happen. It's out there. This is a fact. Okay, I'm not making shit up here. This is not bullshit. This is the truth. And then I see him on TV yesterday. They're interviewing him about the intent. I mean, if this is the guy that's talking about the intentions and the integrity of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, then we need to get rid of that agency immediately. Because if this is the guy that's the authority on it, we've got problems, Houston. Big problems. Okay? And do the math on this and think about, the other agencies that are very similar. What have these intelligence agencies ever done for you? Native Americans, how about that? Federal Bureau of Intimidation, right? Look what they did to Leonard Peltier. Leonard's still locked up. 46 years. That was the FBI. They covered that up. They made people lie on the stand. And the people have come out and said so. I mean, they've put a lot of innocent people away. They've ruined a lot of lives. They've done a lot of fucking damage. CIA, same way. NSA, spying on us. They're listening to what I'm saying right now. I mean, I've been shadow banned. I mean, I got shadow banned because I quoted a fucking medical study that is coming true. Everything I said was true. Everything I said turned out to be true. Did I get an apology? No. Fuck you, YouTube. You didn't give me a fucking apology. You cut me off for 2 fucking weeks one time, and 1 week prior to that, and then you told me if I did it one more time, I was going to get banned for good. I was going to get my channel removed. And you never apologized, even though I was right. I was right. I cited a fucking medical study that was correct. That was done by an accredited university with accredited medical staff. All the documentation was there. I cited that, and I got kicked off. That's where we live. That's what we're going through right now. I mean, that's what's happened with Trump. So we're living in a third world banana republic where these fucking Gestapo motherfuckers just do whatever the fuck they want over politics. And part of the deal with being an American is that you should not be in any way punished, incarcerated, charged, or anything for your political beliefs. That's what the First Amendment's about, ladies and gentlemen. And with this whole thing, we're getting into the first, the fourth, the fifth, the 10th. We're going to be dealing with the 25th because this fucking tomato head. Jesus Christ, what an arrogant asshole, Everybody thinks, oh, he's just an innocent old man. He's an angry old bastard that's crooked as fuck. So is his whole family. The whole family's crooked. They've taken $31 million from Chinese intelligence. How much did fucking Hunty make over there working for Burisma? Now he's got connections with Romania. He's got these Chinese connections. He's involved in every fucking various thing you could think of. He's flown prostitutes over the fucking ocean into this country and then filmed himself paying them. Standing there naked with a fucking gun that he obtained illegally because he lied. He lied on a background check. But yet these people, they want to have all these they want all this new regulation on firearms. But yet this guy, the son of the president, has sat there and outright fucking lied. The poor guy that got the laptop, he's just doing his business, right? He's just running a store. He's got a shop. He's got a computer repair shop. Dipshit goes in, leaves his computer there for what? I don't remember the statute on it, 9 months or something like that. At that point, the dude's got to do something with it. So he opens it up, sees all the shit, goes, fuck. Contacts the authorities. He's like, this is something you guys might want to see. Right before the election, 51 former intelligence members, right? From James Clapper to fucking Brannon and Clapper lied on the stand, and they just let it go. They let it go until the statutes of limitations were up, and then he's allowed to sign a letter, and somehow he's got credibility, even though he sat there and he lied to the American people about them spying on us. I know we're being spied on right now. I know that what I'm saying right now is being watched. Trust me. I know. I'll probably get done with this and go to look at the stream, and I'll probably have been removed. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not scared of it. I don't give a shit. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I'm not going to live in fear of it. I'm not going to sit here and do this. Well, I can't say this. I can't say that. I'm going to call it what it is. Clapper should be in prison. He perjured himself. He was ahead of. I mean, these people are trained to lie. If you go to work for the CIA, the FBI, and any of these outfits, you're trained to fucking lie. And you're trained to treat the populace like idiots. And we are idiots because we've let this go on. I mean, we've gotten what we deserve with this whole thing. I mean, we deserve Joe Biden. And by we, I'm not saying me personally or you personally, but I'm saying as a collective whole, as a citizenry, that's where we're at because we're fucking stupid. I mean, there's so many people out there that are just dumb. I mean, just straight up fucking stupid. And you sit here and you watch these idiots like that fucking Stephen Colbert sit there and clap and prance around. Oh, it's Christmas time. Fucking idiot. That fucking moron sat up there and talked about all his vaccinations and his fucking jabs and this and that and the other fucking thing. The motherfucker gets COVID twice in a row. How'd that treat you, fuckhead? You know? I mean, that guy, what a worthless fucking idiot. You know, he's right up there. There's so many of them out there. Just morons. That fucking Jimmy Kimball. And I mean, did you guys ever see the footage of Heather McDonald when she took a digger on stage? Now, I feel bad for, I'm sorry that happened to you. But I mean, she was just basically taunting. If there is a God, she was taunting God because she was like, I got the vaccination. I got the booster. I got the shingle shot. I still have my period. Jesus loves me more than he loves you. And she, all of a sudden she flops around and she falls. And she just passes out and, fractured her skull. Almost killed her. I don't wish that on anybody, but I mean, it should be up to you whether or not you want to take these measures. And if you do decide to take those measures, then you don't have to sit there and grandstand about it. And if you don't have to grandstand about that either. I'm not saying one way or another, I mean, I got my opinions on it, and I mean, in the course of this whole pandemic thing, however long it's gone on now, too long, going on 3 years, I guess. I mean, I got the first variant, and that fucking shit sucked. But that was before there was a fucking vaccine. And then before there was a vaccine, I got the Delta variant as well. And then the fucking thing came out, and at that point, I'm like, fuck, I've had it twice. I'm not getting a jab, It's my choice. I mean, I do my research. I do my homework. I look these things up. I try and follow up on things as best I can. Look at the, the benefits and the negatives. And I've seen a lot of people that I know that have gotten it, that have had things that are inexplicable after alleged such jab. I don't know. I mean, look at the. I mean, it's come out. Like, I mean, Redacted the other day had a thing about the rates of myocarditis. There's also the rate of death in younger people it's inexplicable right now. It's skyrocketed. What's that all about? I don't know. I mean, you've got athletes that are college athletes, professional athletes, 20s, 30s, peak physical shape. All of a sudden, just I mean, the one I can remember. I mean, Len Bias was one when I was younger. All right, but that was a cocaine deal, and then Hank Gathers fell out. But Hank Gathers had a heart condition that was undiagnosed. I mean, we're talking about, I mean, there's footage out there of some crazy shit that's happened to people that are in great shape. I mean, they're not drug addicts. They don't smoke cigarettes. They don't drink. They're athletes, I mean, let's look it up here. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are right now. I know that they were pretty high before. And, I mean, you've got people that are this is just cardiac arrest for no reason. I don't know what it is. 400 athletes collapsing and dying. 400 in the last 6 months. I mean, that's pretty significant. I can't think of any other time that, I don't know. When the mainstream media wants to say, no, this doesn't have anything to do with this and that, and then you've got doctors and stuff, and they're playing them down. I mean, you look at all these. I mean, I'm not going to put any of them up, but I'm looking down, and all these are doctors, right, that are citing these numbers. Oh, look at that. Hey, congratulations. Look at this. Harriet Hageman beats Liz Cheney. Who saw that coming? I mean, that's a good. But here's the thing, and you watch and see what happens. And I've called this out over and over and over and over and over and over. Liz Cheney's on her way to something else. And the reason that she did what she did, the reason she was disloyal to her party, the reason that she got behind all this horse shit is because Daddy's got her set up to go into the military-industrial complex. Watch and see where she ends up within the next month or two. She's going to take a little bit of time off, right? Probably go Pampers, go a little cruise, go somewhere tropical, whatever, chill out, drink some umbrella drinks, eat some good food. She's going to come back and you watch. They're going to name her as a CEO or some kind of a VP or something with Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Grumman, any of these military industrial complex or outfits. Watch. It's going to be the classic revolving door. She's going to end up being a fucking lobbyist or some shit, going and watch. Call me out if I'm wrong. Okay, let's give this thing fucking 6 months and let's see where it's at. All right, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I'm no fucking genius, but if I'm confident enough in something to say it, then it's like if you ask me about a football bet, right? I'm not going to give you some crazy ass thing. I'm going to tell you the stone cold lock, right? I'll be like, you want to make a one pick? This is the game. I mean, I'm telling you right here, this is what's going to happen. And then she's going to get back into politics. It'll happen down there. She's going to move because she don't even live here in Wyoming. She's in Virginia, right? She was out here apparently, prancing around, whatever. I know she was up here not too long ago. But at least she's for now. But she ain't going away. I heard an interview they're talking with her about presidential aspirations, and when her evil ass father comes out and he starts fucking saying shit, then it's like, oh boy, he'll shoot the world in the face and make you apologize. You know what I mean? He don't care. That motherfucker's got salt in his veins. I can't even believe he's still kicking. I didn't even know if he was. But he came out and was, running his neck. I mean, that's bad. When old Dickie Boy comes out. I mean, I never did see that movie, that movie Vice. I might watch that when I get off here. I'd like to watch that. But I mean, from what I understand, allegedly, I mean, even George Bush Jr. makes jokes about it. That Dick shot his buddy in the head and in the face with a shotgun, and then that guy had to apologize to him. Drunked up out bird hunting or whatever. But that's who we got here, and it's crazy to even be wasting time talking about this, but I think that it's something that we all need to look at because these are the things that shape our lives, right? These are the things that affect us on a day-to-day basis because we're concerned financially. We're concerned with the prices at the pump. We're concerned with the prices at the grocery store. We're concerned with the prices of healthcare and everything that's insurance. It's all about money. These fuckers, they've got enough that they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They just want to keep getting more. They don't give a shit about you and me. They want to make it rich and poor, and if you look back on it, there's a book about what you do to implement socialism or communism in a society. And one of those main things is, number one, de-arm the citizenry, and then it was like nationalize healthcare, which I think that we can do that. Okay, that's one that I happen to agree with. I think that everybody in this country should have healthcare. If we're spending this money, how much dipshit comes in from vacation today? He signs this stupid fucking this inflammation fucking bill, puts it into, and then he fucking takes off and goes back to fucking his beach house. He's been on vacation. Motherfucker's been on vacation. I mean, he had, 2 weeks with the COVID? He came back for 1-2 days, gets the COVID again? He's had he had the jab and the fucking all the, however many boosters it's been now. And he gets it twice? Comes back, says he's not fine. He's not okay. He's worse now than he was before. He's way worse. Gets off that fucking helicopter, drops his fucking aviators on the ground. He's fucking staggering around. His boots, he's wearing some kind of moon boot looking thing. I mean, that wasn't presidential attire. I mean, the motherfucker was wearing like some fucking work boots with his slacks and his sport coat and his tie. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, are they special orthotic shoes so he cannot fall down the stairs or what? I mean, everybody gave Trump shit because he was taking short steps going down that ramp on a slick day, wearing leather bottom fucking, dress shoes. And they're thinking that that was the reason right there. Oh, he's in cognitive decline. He's the dude's walking down a slick ramp with leather bottom shoes on, and he's taking short steps so he doesn't fall. Not like Onion Head running and falling up the stairs. I mean, instead of collecting himself, he just gets right back up and fuck, he fell 3 fucking times, Just keeps, and he gets up there and does that fucking salute. I mean, I can imagine those service members sitting down there at the bottom of the ramp of Air Force One just going, Jesus Christ, what the fuck just happened there? Motherfucker just fell up the stairs 3. I mean, I can't believe they kept a straight face. How could you sit there and watch that shit? And I mean, I would be dying, even if I was supposed to be serious. I mean, I can't even imagine seeing that. I'd be losing my fucking mind. One time, is he okay? What do we do? Second time, third time, he just saluted us. I'll bet those guys laughed their asses off after they got off their shift that day. I can only imagine. There was probably some pretty good jokes, Well, and then you saw what happened when he was inaugurated. And he's driving his motorcade's going down, leaving, and I mean, most of the dudes sitting there guarding the Capitol they had their backs turned. I mean, and outright like just saying, yeah, we don't, no. I mean, and then you got Kamala. I hear her today. She's talking about how now here's the whole thing, right? So this warrant that was served on Trump was clearly a Fourth Amendment violation. You can't tell me otherwise. I don't care what you say. What do we think that Trump took nuclear codes and he's going to sell them to the Russians? Come on. It's a witch hunt just like it has been for the last 6 years. I mean, and this dude until he decided to run Republican, he was in with the Democrats. He donated money to the Clintons and everything else. I mean, it's all just a silly bunch of games. That's the thing. That's why I say walk away from this shit. We need to just say enough. Enough of it. Enough. Just turn our backs on it. Whatever they tell us to do, you know what? I'm not talking about insurrection or violence or anything like that. I'm just saying we all know what we need to do to live a happy life. We know what we got to do to do whatever it needs, whatever it is that you do in life. Whether you work construction, whether you're an attorney, you work in the medical field. There's no reason that medicine should cost what it costs. There's no reason that medical care should be. It should not be a thing that if you don't have insurance or whatever, that you can't go see a doctor. That's where I'm at. I can't go see a doctor. I cannot go see a doctor. I need to go see a neurologist because I can't feel my legs. I can't do it. So be it. Whatever. I'll be 50 in 4 years, and that's fucking 20 years longer than I thought I'd ever have on this planet, so I'm fine. But it's pretty sad when I can't pursue the same line of work that I did before because I can't, feasibly I can't get up on a ladder or a scaffold or anything like that. And I put in to try and, get some help with it, and I have to go see a neurologist. You know how much it costs to go see a neurologist to get tests for this shit? And I don't have it. I can't do it. Normal people can't go to the fucking doctor every time something goes wrong. And, and that's fucked up. I mean, it's really fucked up. I mean, do you know how much a ride in an ambulance costs? That's crazy. The amount of taxes that we pay, it should not cost that much. I mean, if we're talking about taxes being used for public utilities and things of that nature, right? Like public works, like libraries, hospitals, police departments, fire departments, city crews, to take care of, roads and sewage, the city sewage and water lines and things of that nature. I mean, everybody pays enough for that to be taken care of. But yet your money that you spend in your entire life that literally costs you quite a bit. The government, like that, they spend it. They spend it on going over and killing brown people. Did they ask you if that's okay? Did they call you up and say, hey, excuse me, Mr. File, we were thinking, if it's okay with you, I know that Iraq didn't have anything to do with 9/11, but, we don't like that Saddam Hussein guy very much, and I think we're just going to go in there and, we're going to, I think just go bomb the living shit out of a bunch of people and just take it. Are you okay with your money being spent on that, Mr. File? Do you think I would agree with that shit? I'll tell you where I was at on that day in 2003 when they declared that they were going in. I was fucking furious. I actually was on the phone with my mother and I saw it on the TV and I just lost my mind. And she can attest to that. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, here we fucking go. And it was here we fucking go. Lasted 20 fucking years. And then we left it worse than we found it. I mean, we might as well just not have gone there because we left those people over there in a world of shit. We lost service people. We lost billions and billions of dollars in bullshit. In weapons of, we're the ones with the weapons of mass destruction. Billions of dollars in military shit. Why do we got to fight these people? Why do we got to fight anybody? It's fucking stupid. It's so the fucking rich and the powerful can stay where they're at. That's all it's about. That's what politics is about. That's what these fucking wars are about. That's what the military is about. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for human beings to want to kill one another. And you can talk about religion and this and that and the other fucking thing. That's bullshit. It doesn't matter. I don't care who your magic man is, and you shouldn't care who my magic fucking man or woman or whatever. It doesn't matter. We should be sovereign people that as long as you're not doing any harm, I don't give a fuck. You can worship you can worship a Sharpie if you want. Here's your God. Write a book about it. I don't give a fuck. If that's what makes you happy and that's what makes you tick, then fucking worship a Sharpie. Who gives a fuck? Oh, well, Islam was a fucking, well, look at the fucking Old Testament, motherfucker. Tell me that shit ain't fucking violent as fuck. It's just as violent, if not more violent than the Quran. And look at humanity hasn't changed either. We want to think that we've evolved and we've become some kind of transcendent fucking version of what we were. No, we're not. We're just exactly the same as the fucking the monkey people out there with a club living in caves that just figured out how to make fire. It's just we've escalated it. We're still killing each other. I mean, how do you live with yourself when you wonder why our service people come back from these wars, and how come we have 22 veterans a day committing suicide? There's an effect that has on you. There is. We've devalued life. We've said that these people are marginal and they don't matter, and because they're brown and they're poor and they live in different scenarios than we do, that it's okay for them to die. And you wonder why terrorists are created. You wonder why guys join ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And you tell me, if you went to work in the morning, you're working the best job you can find. You're a baker. You got a little, whatever. A little storefront, even a cart, whatever the fuck. You got to go bake bread in the morning, right? Anybody who's a baker, no, that's a tough-ass job. You got to get up early every day. Every day. 3, 4 a.m. So say you get up, you go in, you're baking your bread, you're putting it all together, getting ready to open your storefront up. You go through your day, you sell your wares, you shut down the shop, and you go walking up the street, right? Because you don't have a car because you're living in someplace like Mosul in Iraq or in someplace in Afghanistan, right? And you're walking up the street back to your apartment because you can't afford anything else. And so you got 3 kids, your wife, they're all home. At least they were. You round what was the corner, you see a fucking plume of smoke, and you've seen it since you started walking, and you're going, oh, that looks like it's coming from my place. And you show up, and your building's blown up, and your wife and your children are gone. And who did it? Uncle Sam, right? Now at that point, as a man, right? You're 40 years old. What do you care? At that point in your life, you're like, I'm going to get back at whoever did this to my family, right? It's not even about what they did to you, but they just took out, 4 innocent lives, and not just those 4 innocent lives, but everybody in the building. That's the one thing in the Trump administration that I had respect for. When our drone was over Iranian airspace where it wasn't supposed to be, and it got shot down, and the Democrats were ready to roll on this, right? They were like, we know where these guys are. Let's take them out. And Trump was ready to roll on too, and he stopped and said, wait a minute, how many innocent people are going to die for these 3? And they told him like 97. And he said, no, we're not doing it. And that was the right call, and I had respect for that decision. That's the one thing that I can think of throughout the whole thing with the Trump administration, that thing right there. Because guess what? Obama wouldn't have said no. Dick Cheney wouldn't have said no. George Bush wouldn't have said no. Fucking Joe Biden wouldn't say no. They'd have gone in there and they'd have killed 97 innocent people to get 3. They had shot down a drone of ours that was in their airspace. Can you imagine the repercussions if there was an Iranian drone that we found flying over our airspace? Can you imagine? We would lose our collective minds. Yet for us to do that over there, and then make it look like it's their fault, like they're terrorists, they shot our drone down. Well, what the fuck was our drone doing over their airspace anyways? What are we doing over there anyhow? We got no reason to be over there other than fucking, it's oil, greed, riches. The greedy motherfuckers that run this shit, because we got plenty of our own right here. But yet we're not allowed to use our own. We got to sign on to this bullshit where we send fucking Onion Head over there to beg people that mistreat women, behead people. They fucking executed 81 people in one day last year. Beheading them too. I'm not talking about lethal injection. I'm talking about a beheading. With a dude now, can you imagine being that dude? That's got to be a sick, twisted fuck. You're talking about fucking watching, fucking taking off heads, lopping off heads of human beings. Boy, you tell me that motherfucker doesn't have some nightmares. Tell me he doesn't do some fucked up shit. Tell me they don't got him locked in a basement somewhere. That's probably what they do. They probably got him locked downstairs somewhere, and they bring him out with his big ass sword. I guarantee every beheading doesn't go clean. I mean, that's some draconian shit right there. And that's who he goes over, our president goes over and fist pounds that dude. They did that to one of our journalists. And he's over there, begging for them to fucking put out more oil. What do? They tell him to get the fuck out of there, and they raise the fucking price. That's what you voted for. That's what you got, America. Good job. Fucking golf clap for you right there. Way to go. Fucking idiots. Politics is bad enough as it is, but then when you fall for that dumbass shit, I ain't got no fucking, like I said, speaking hypothetically, if I had any influence whatsoever and I could get everybody to just not even show up on election day, that would be the best thing I could ever think of. If everybody just say, nah, we ain't playing no more. We're not playing. I don't hate you. You don't hate me. We're all just trying to live and get by. Let's work this shit out amongst ourselves. Because we could do that. As people, we can do that. Everybody wants to talk about how racist this country is. The racism in this country has happened because it's been perpetuated. Because the powers that be have relied upon it. And when you take people and you elevate them into power, like the measure of a man is what he becomes when you give him some authority. Him or her. You give somebody authority and you see how they take it and how they use it. And that is a measure of a person. And most people don't handle it very well. They don't. And this country is evidence of it right now because look at the divide that we have. And look at the difference between the rich and the poor. And it's just becoming greater and greater. You know, the country worked for a couple hundred years because we did have a strong middle class. A middle class that was able to fucking jump on board for the tomfuckery because they're thinking, okay, life is good because of the flag. We can sing the flag song. Life is great. And we can do the pledge. But there was still a group of people that weren't getting all that, but the majority was in the middle class. Well, it's not now. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, I look at job offers for 60, 70, 80. I mean, I've had job offers for way more than that I won't take. Just number one, I'm not ever going to work a job again. That's my prerogative. And people aren't working, and they want to talk about, there's 360,000 new jobs came up. Well, nobody's taking them. They're paying people in Cody, Wyoming. They're starting people at like $18 an hour at Walmart. I mean, and really $18 an hour isn't shit. It's nothing. You go to the grocery store, man. I mean, it's like, I went in yesterday, and I got some, I think I got some chicken and some cheese, some grapefruit juice, $50. I mean, so, and it's just, it's going to come crashing down on our heads. I mean, it already has. It's already happened. And it doesn't matter if Trump runs in 24 or not. It doesn't matter who runs. It doesn't matter if it's him, DeSantis. The Democrats don't have anybody. It doesn't matter because it's going to be the same thing. Look at what happened when Trump won. They had everything. They had the majority. Obama was in the same situation. And what did we get? The Affordable Care Act? Who did that help? Nobody. I mean, some people, yeah, okay, but not everybody. I mean, it damn sure didn't help me. I can't afford it. I talk to people and find out what they're paying for health insurance a month, and then what they get. It's sickening. I have friends that have that need insulin. Need it. And the prices on that are, they're having to make choices between, do I get my insulin or do I get groceries and pay the power bill? And these assholes in Big Pharma, they're just fucking, and then in this bill that they just passed, right, there's going to be, by 2026, we can start making negotiations with Big Pharma on the cost of medications if there's no generic substitute. Read the bill. It's 39 pages, all right? It's H.R. 4376, I believe is the number. I'm sorry, I don't have it right in front of me. I read it last night. It's fucking disgusting. 87,000 IRS agents. Yeah. You just signed off on that with who you vote for. When you go in there to the ballot box and you just vote D, whatever it is you vote, and you don't think about the policies, this is why this system doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not a free market. It's not even close. It's not even capitalism. It is a fucking oligarchy, and it's run by the rich, and they have their own group, and you're not in it. Just like George Carlin said, you ain't fucking part of it. I'm not part of it. When our kids are born, they're born 30. Okay, you're okay. Say you're gonna have a kid, right? You just got married, okay? You think, God, we won't have a family. Your kid is born into $30 trillion in debt. That's what you're bringing a kid into this world for. My son just started working this year at 14. I told him, I said, you're 30 trillion in debt. Get used to it. If you want to be in the workforce. That's why I won't. I'll do work. I work hard every day. But I do what I want to do. I got every kind of tool you can imagine. And I'm out there building and doing stuff, I beat myself up. That's why I can't feel my feet anymore. And for what? Why did I do that to myself for all these years? So I can't go see a doctor? What's my reward? That I paid all these taxes for these fucking fat cats to go fucking, drink and carry on and, get hookers and then go over there and blow brown people up overseas for oil? Is that what I did? Or so I could be involved in the fucking stupid Iran-Contra affair and just, or Fast and Furious, or any number of these nefarious fucking deeds these people do? Everybody says government's necessary, and it begs a question to be asked. I think that we need to ask ourselves that, like, really, what's it necessary for? Because what good has it done you? What good's the government done you? I can tell you how much I've had to pay in just the last year. I've been driving since I was 16 years old. I had to go pay. Now that the cost for a driver's license is $46 for me to just walk in the building and them to take my picture. I didn't have to take a test. I said to go in, give them my old ID. They punch a hole in it. They take a picture, and $45. Why do that's for? Because I've been driving for fucking 30 fucking years. Why do I need that? Or so I can go down there to the courthouse and pay $270 a year for my truck, so I can have a tag on it, a sticker, so I can drive on the roads that they don't fix and they never plow. Yeah. And every one of you does it. Then I get to a few months later, I've got the old 85 Ford. That thing's $91. It's an 85 fucking Ford with 500,000 miles on it. I got to pay like $97 for that thing. I got to put tags on my trailer that I drag behind. And then I got to put insurance on all of them. That's your government, right? That's just a start. If I'm running my business, I'm paying, I'm carrying, $2 million aggregate in general liability insurance. I'm carrying $300,000 a truck. It's crazy. Paying a city bill that you use $10, $15 worth of electricity. You get your city bill, and like $97 of it is taxes and fees. You pay your phone bill. Look at all those taxes and fees. For what? Well, it's infrastructure. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. This is nonsense. They're just bleeding you dry. They're keeping you at work. They're keeping you enslaved. Slavery didn't end. It just morphed into something else. It morphed into a different thing. You know how come people that work at a restaurant, that servers, make like $2.37 an hour? You know why that is? Because when slaves were freed, and it was predominantly the females went to work in restaurants, they decided since they get tips, then they're going to take the wage down to that. Well, those women didn't get tips. Imagine I'm working $2.35 an hour. I've bartended a number of years, a lot of years I've spent bartending, and I never would go to, a lot of the people bartending, they settled for the $2.50 because they made tips. I always told them, no, you pay me $10, $12 an hour. That's how that came about, though. So if you're a server out there, if you work in the food service industry, and you're a server at a restaurant, and you make $2.35, $2.45, whatever an hour, that's where it came from. That's why it started. Because they figured, oh, well. And so that's how tipping started. That's why they don't tip in Europe, right? That's why that's like considered an insult in a lot of countries to tip. But the reason they did it in this country is because they could get away with not, the white owners of these, different restaurants and stuff, they didn't have to pay because of the tips. But yet, guess who still taxed those people? Yeah, the IRS. And now we're going to have 87,000 more of these motherfuckers. And I think the median pay rate on them is $62,000 a year. All right. And I believe the allocation for really the IRS, that's what we need in this country. We got 550,000 homeless fucking people. We've got tent encampments. We've got fentanyl fucking overdoses. We've got problems. We have problems big time. And we're going to spend that money on 87,000 fucking IRS agents. People, you should be furious about this. And that's what's gone on. See, this is what I'm talking about, because this whole shit happened with Trump, right? Do you ever notice there's a distraction when something big goes through Congress? When something big gets passed in Washington? There's always something going on to distract you. And that's what's happening right now, because Biden just signed that shit in today. And what are we all talking about? We're talking about Trump and his fucking mansion being raided, right? And we're all pissed about it. He's living in this fucking opulent fucking place. We're fucking lucky to keep our goddamn power on. But yet we're pissed about that. But we're not upset about the fucking shit that fucking asshole just signed today, and that he's been trying to implement the whole time, and that he got up there and grandstanding about. Nobody pays attention to it. Why? Because you're all too stupid and you get polarized by the bullshit. Who gives a fuck about Trump? Really, who gives a... I mean, you know, hey, one way or another, it don't matter to him. Oh, they went through his wife's closet. Big fucking deal. How many of you out there have had the fucking police show up into your house and go through and fucking ransack your place? How many people have been pulled over and had your fucking car ransacked, where they just fucking tear everything out and throw it all over the fucking road and then leave you? And then you want to sit here because it's Trump and get all worried about it. But in the meantime, in the background, they've just passed this horrible fucking bill called the Inflation Reduction Act. And I'm just calling it the Inflammation Act is what it is. Because what they're doing is, it's just like the 1.9 trillion in the CARES Act. What you all got, you're supposed to get $2,000. What did you get? 1,600? Do the math. Even at $2,000 a piece, 338 million people in this country, and that's not how many people are eligible for a payment. Half those are kids. You know? I mean, if you divide it in half and do the math, then where'd the rest of that fucking money go? Yeah, you know where it went. And it wasn't even real to begin with. And that's the fucking kicker. It wasn't even real to begin with. It never has been. And that's the fucking kicker. And y'all buy into it. Y'all buy into it. I'm not generalizing everybody, but a good majority do. Anybody out there that says, oh, they're printing more money? If you've used that terminology, they're printing more money, if you've said that, you've bought into it hook, line, and sinker. Like they got you by that straight up fish hook. If you've ever said that term, printing more money, they're not printing money. Look in your wallet if you got hundreds in there. I've done it. You've seen me do it on the fucking, I'm not going to do it again, but you look in your wallet and you check the dates on them fucking bills. You got brand new $100 bills, and none of them are from 2020, 2021. I mean, the newest ones I've found has been 2017. Most of them are back to like 2010, 2011. They're not printing money. Money is worthless. It's garbage. It is a number. It's a digital number. But yet you're going to go to work tomorrow, aren't you? Because you got to pay those bills. And guess who you're paying your bills to? Look into it. I challenge you all to do this. Look into whatever city, municipality, wherever you live, look into the power company. Look into if you pay a city bill or if you pay a gas bill. Do some searching. Because these companies, they come in and they act like, oh, we're your local hometown. Da-da-da. Yeah, right. People in Cody, look into Black Hills Energy. Follow the paperwork. See where it takes you. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. And I'm not going to give it away to you, but you'll find out. You're going to find out who it is behind it all. And it's the same outfit with almost all of them. You know? I mean, you think that, you think this and you think that. You think because you're just paying the city of Cody bill that you're paying the city of Cody. No. And who would want to pay them that much anyways? I know there's guys down there that do work they don't get, thankless work, because I see it all the time. There's always some place where they're digging something up, and there's one guy in the fucking pit digging, and the rest of them are watching. So I know there's, a few of them that work their asses off. I worked for the city. I know how it goes. Fuck, I almost got fired. When I was like 19. I came back here and worked for a summer. No, I'm take that back. I wasn't 19. I was 21. I got hired on. for the summer. I was back from college. I was given a list of things I needed to do. I went and did them all in 2 weeks. Went back to the boss. Had the list all crossed off. Said, what next? Yeah, I almost got fired. He said, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, that was for the whole fucking summer. What am I supposed to do with you now? I'm like, huh? I mean, I've been working construction my whole life. I mean, even at 20, that's the first time I'd ever even taken a job like that. I mean, I thought, okay, this is a cushy job. I'm going around fixing sprinkler heads, riding on mowers, doing goofy. I mean, it was easy. We'd meet at the gas station every morning at 10 a.m. and we'd sit in that fucking gas station until 11:30. Then we'd go back to wherever we were working at, and then it was noon, lunchtime, take an hour lunch. I worked for the city of Portland. I worked at East Delta Park in the city of Portland. We would start off every day, and we'd go out with those little pickers, little old man pickers, little pickup sticks. We had a John Deere Gator, one of those little like four-wheelers with a little bed on the back, a little green and yellow thing. And I think we had, don't quote me, but I think there was like 7 softball fields and maybe 8 soccer fields. And so there was always soccer tournaments and softball tournaments, like all the time out there, right? And this is, right before you cross the river to go into Vancouver, Washington. And, it's a nasty area. I mean, East Delta Park was nasty, especially the West End where Bum Hill was. But I'd go out there and I'd ride a mower around. But most of the time I'd sit in that shop and we'd play fucking ping pong. And then if a softball game got over, we'd jump in one of the little gator things or whatever. We had tractors that they had like a drag, for a baseball field. So the game would get over, and me and my, the guy I worked with, Earl, we were pretty much the only guys that did anything. We'd jump up from the ping pong table, we'd run out, and we'd jump on that thing, we'd go out, you pull the bases out, you fucking drag the thing, you put the plugs in, you drag the thing around, drag the field, put the bases back in, chalk the lines, and back to the ping pong table. And then you look over at the bank of payphones, and you start seeing the same guys, right? And they're pulling in, and they pull their hood up, and one guy sits in the car, maybe another guy in the back seat. The guy riding shotgun gets out, gets on the payphone, makes a call. And you look over there, and then here comes another vehicle. And they pull in right next to him, and then they both take off at the same time. And I'm like, what's going on over there? Why am I picking up heroin needles every morning? And then we'd have rows of those porta potties, right? The blue room, the honey pots, whatever you want to call them. We'd come in there in the mornings, and they'd have somebody gone at them with a razor knife, and they'd cut these little square holes in the sides. So I started recognizing like minivans that would pull up during soccer tournaments, and seeing the same dudes like wandering around the porta potties. And then I started seeing them like looking in the side of these porta potties when the little kids would go in there, and I see that they're like going jerking off in their minivan. And so I start chasing them around. I get in trouble for chasing these fuckers out of that park. They're sitting there cutting holes in porta potties, looking at little kids and then jerking off in their little minivans. I realize that what they're doing at the payphones is they're making heroin deals. I go to my boss. Earl and I both went to the boss. And we said, listen, these dudes are making heroin deals right out here. This is a kid's park. They got all this shit going on. These people are out here fucking making drug deals right here, heroin deals. We pick up heroin deals like we had a biohazard thing. Like that's what I did every day, first couple hours of the day, go around picking up heroin needles. Disgusting. I mean, and then we called it Bum Hill, because it was right off the interstate. So on the west end of the park, right by the Shell station where they sold 40s of liquor, these guys would take turns going and sit at the end of the off ramp. And straight up, they'd get hit up with a 50, 100, whatever. And they took care of each other. I mean, the dude would come back. He'd be like, hey, he'd take his 100 that he got. And he'd go buy everybody a 40 or two. And they'd sit there and they'd drink and get drunk. But then they'd throw those bottles out there in the middle of the field. And they'd inevitably get run over by a mower. And then you got little kids getting their feet cut and shit. What I'm saying is this is government for you. Okay? This is just an example. This is government. All right? I mean, I sat there and, so So here's the answer we have with the phones, right? Earl and I decide finally, we're like, you know what? There's only one way we're going to fix this. They're not going to do anything about it. So we went and got the loppers, and we went out and we fucking lopped off every single phone. Just took him in, threw him on the boss's desk. She almost fired us. She was so mad at us. We're like, we fixed the problem. She's like, I should fire both of you right now. And what they do, the next day they got somebody out there fixing the fucking stupid payphones. We watched them the one day they were down. We watched the guys come in, and they didn't have a payphone, and they were pissed, and they had to turn around and drive away. That's your government. You fix a problem, and they're going to bring it right back again. Right back in your face. That's just on a city level. That's not even on a national level, because it gets worse than that. Trust me. I mean, it's bad. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we pay for it all. We pay for it. I mean, we pay for our own problems. You know what I mean? And quite frankly, I really don't have a problem with, you're an adult, you want to do drugs, you want to shoot heroin, fine. It's your choice. It doesn't matter to me. I think drugs should be illegal, legalized all the way across the board, because quite frankly, everybody's a drug addict. Do you drink coffee every morning? You smoke cigarettes? You take Advil, ibuprofen? You take prescription drugs? Everybody falls in that category one way or another. You drink booze? You know? I mean, what's the difference? I mean, all you got to do is go by one of these little coffee huts in the morning, especially in this little town. And you look at the lines and how wound up people are. They have to have that coffee. If they don't get that caramel macchiato, mochaccino, whatever the frappuccino, whatever it is, they're losing their minds. And they'll run late to work. They'll run late to get their kids to school. That's the funny thing, is when you see them and they're waiting for that thing, sippy cup, and then they're late to get the kids there, and they show up at the school zone, and it's 20 miles an hour, and they're doing like fucking 40 because they know they're running late, and then they know they're running late for work. And you're just going, wow, what a bunch of fucking idiots to fall for this shit. Late for work. Who gives a fuck? Late for your shitty cheese job. I'm going to get fired. Then what? You can't pay the bank for the loan that you took out that came from nothing. That was just a manufactured amount of money. I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole for days. The whole thing's a fucking lie. Our society is a fucking lie. You want to say land of the free, home of the brave? You are a sucker. You are the biggest sucker in the world if you want to say that. You know? You want to come down on people for not standing for the national anthem. I think you should do some homework. You know what I mean? I mean, I love this country, but it's the people that I love, and it's the country, it's the land that I love. It's not the government. You know? It's not the flag. I mean, you go and ask some Native American people how they feel about it. You know, go and speak to some black people down in Compton, New Orleans, Detroit. See how they feel. You know. I mean, there's no reason. I mean, you know, and you can sit there and say, well, it's for the people, it's for our ancestors and blah, 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 that fight. Okay. What did they fight for? To keep us free. Are you free? Do you feel free? Ask yourself, if you're hungry tomorrow and you don't have a dime and you need to feed your family, and you got a lake over there that's got a bunch of trout in it, and you don't know how you're going to feed your kids, and you ain't got the 35 to 50, whatever it is. I think it's $50 now to get a fucking fishing license. You ain't got the $50, but you got a fishing pole, and you got to know how to go out there and catch a grasshopper, and you got a fish hook, and you got a bunch of hungry kids, and you got to figure out how to feed them, and you don't have any idea what you're going to do. You go over there and you throw that line out there in the water and you catch a couple trout, and you're leaving the lake or whatever to come back home, feed your kids, and you get stopped by Mr. Game Warden. Mr. Game and Fish, where's your license? License? So you don't have one. So what do? They take your fish, and you get a ticket. You get your name in the paper. You get to go to court. Your kids are hungry. Now, as a human being, shouldn't you have the inherent right that if you're hungry and you need to feed your kids, shouldn't you have the right to be able to go out and be, to be industrious and go catch a fish? Or even shoot a deer. In this town, there's deer everywhere. No, where's your license? You didn't pay us to be, no. You can't go out and just do that. You can't go out and just, use the abundance of Mother Nature to benefit your starving children. No, you're getting a ticket and you're going to jail, son. Think about this. I mean, you want to drive your vehicle. I don't see any proof of insurance, registration, license. Oh, it's expired. Is this the right address on your license? Did you move? Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry. I lost my job and my house got foreclosed on, and now we live in this fucking shitty apartment over here. And I didn't have the money to go in and then pay their $35 to get a replacement license. I'm sorry. I have not changed my address on my driver's license. Oh, that's, here's another ticket for you. Now you get to go to court. Put your name in the paper again, put it on the website so everybody in town can think you're a deadbeat. That's your government, folks. That's what you've opted into. If I'm not making sense to you, then nothing's going to make sense. But this is what I'm telling you. I mean, we have bought it hook, line, and sinker. We've agreed to some shit that is just absolutely ridiculous. And any of y'all out there that want to sit there and sing the flag song, go ahead. Fine. Do it. Do your thing. I ain't going to come down on you, but I'm telling you right now, you're a fucking idiot. Because you're stupid if you think that sitting there and singing that flag song and sitting there with your hat off and making your kids say, I pledge allegiance to the flag, what you're doing is you're just raising more sheep. You're raising more people that are going to grow up and do the same dumb shit you've done. I mean, we raise our kids out of fear that they're going to turn into, and do the things that we screwed up with, that we messed up on. I mean, I remember growing up, it was like, you didn't even think about it. When it was time for Pledge of Allegiance, you hopped to it and you did it. But what were you doing? Why did they have you do that when you're a little kid? What do you know about that? Why do they make you do that? Then why did they get upset when they don't make you do it? Why do people get upset when football players? We're talking about people that play with balls. Take a knee. The most harmless form of protest that you could think of. They're insulting my great-grandfather, my grandpa. Come on, man. No, they're not. Do you think that those guys that take a knee, everybody's saying that about Brittany Griner that's locked up over having some weed. Now, that was a stupid-ass move. She knew the law. She's been over there. She knew that was she took the risk. You take the risk, and you know that what's coming, there's a difference, okay? I mean, you take the risk on something like that when it comes to drugs and shit, and you know the laws, right? Like she knew. She'd been over there. Jesus Christ, she played basketball over there all the time. She rolled the dice, and it looks like she caught 9 years over it. But I guess they're going to make the trade. Maybe they did make the trade. I don't know. I didn't see. They said they were going to make the trade for the Lord of War. But, I mean, that's a different thing, But, I mean, sitting there and teaching our kids to, just to have this blind and just this absolute allegiance to something that you don't even understand. You don't understand the things that this government's been behind. You can love this country. You can love the people. That's fine. And you can love the flag. That's fine. But, to tell somebody you have to do this, when you start telling people what they have to do, that's tyranny. It's tyranny. And it's not good. And that's where we're at right now. We are in a tyrannical situation in this country. I don't know how we get out of it. It's bad. And the free thinkers are the ones that are on the conservative side of things. That's the crazy part. There's all these people on the left, the Democrats and shit, that are just, they're out of their minds. They offended. Look at how they go nuts over. You had a guy show up at an FBI office with a nail gun and a rifle. He's dead. Nobody got hurt, thankfully. I don't condone what the guy did at all. I think that was a real stupid ass thing to do. Anytime you're going to try and enact violence on somebody he's going down there to an FBI office. I don't know what his interaction there was. I think he was just upset about what happened with Trump. Think about it, folks. You're getting really pissed off about, you're getting pissed off about this for the wrong reason. That's the problem. You're getting mad about the Trump thing for the wrong reason. It's because it's Trump. It's not because this shit happens to American citizens every day. It happens all the time. Civil asset forfeiture, illegal search and seizure, stop and frisk. Happens every day, and no one does anything about it. But it happens to Trump, and then all of a sudden you got, people are losing their minds. That's what it takes, I guess, sometimes for somebody of importance to have their rights violated for us to, for everybody to get wound up. But the thing is if they're going to do that to Trump, it's going to be you next. And you know what? I know a lot of you folks out there that I'm familiar with. You've been on the receiving end of that, and then nobody trying to stand up for you. Next thing you know, you're locked up, and that's it. That's how it goes for the normal person. Normal person doesn't have a legal team like Trump or live at Mar-a-Lago. These fuckers can just come in and do whatever they want. They can run roughshod over you, and who gives a shit? Because it's Trumpy now. Everybody's up in their feelings. And then people are going out and being stupid over it. So please, I'm telling you, I'm imploring you right now. Don't go out and be stupid. Don't go out and be violent. Don't go out and do what these other people did when they... And don't compare it to these people that burn down cities and stuff. Don't, because that's like comparing, saying, well, Hillary got away with this. Well, that doesn't matter. You can't say, you can't you can't sit there and justify being violent because somebody else was. If you're talking about self-defense, somebody coming in your house, somebody, that's a different story. But when you're just going out and enacting violence and then just justifying it because, well, these people got away with it, there's no honor in that. There's none. So, if you're thinking about doing anything like that, I'm imploring you not to use this. If you got one, think about what you're doing and look at the big picture. Look at the whole scheme of things, because there's a lot out there behind the curtain. It's like the Wizard of Oz, except it's just not one dude back behind the curtain. And the dude behind the curtain is not Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or any of it. It goes a lot further than that. You got to do your homework. You got to think about these things. You got to think about what it means to actually be free. Because you can't sit here and say this is the land of the free and home of the brave. Because there's not many brave people. There's not many free people. Think about it. How free are you? Go get on an airplane. Tell me how free you are. Tell me about the amount of freedom that you have when you go through a TSA checkpoint. Tell me about the freedom you have when you go through a DUI checkpoint. Tell me about the freedom you have when you get pulled over because you have a taillight out. Sit there and get barked at by a cop, and then you got to go pay. Think about how free you are when you want to go fishing and you got to go spend $50 on a license. Think about how free you are when you go to fish and you go to pull up someplace on the river and you can't. Nope, sorry, can't fish here. Or you go to fish somewhere. No. You can't use no. You have to use a fly or a lure. You can't fish with a worm or grasshopper. Is this not the earth? Am I not a human being? Is this not water? Are there not fish in there? What do you mean I can't catch a fish? I'm hungry. I want to eat. Oh, no, you can't. No. No, you can't shoot that deer in this area. There's a fence right there. You can only hunt in your permit says you can only be in this area. If you think that's free, Oh, no. You shot that elk and it ran right over the border of Yellowstone Park. It went 5 feet in the park and you went and got it after it fell over and died and you harvested it. No. You're going to prison for 5 years, bud, and you're losing your outfitter's license. I know somebody that's been through that. Oh, no. You were smoking you were smoking a joint in Colorado. It was fine in Colorado, but you took one step into Wyoming and we got you. Now you're gone. You're going to prison. What else you got in your pocket? Let's check your pockets. Let's look at that now. Give us your phone. Let's look through your phone. You think you're free? You have an illusion of freedom. You have an illusion of freedom because you play by all their stupid fucking rules, and you manage to keep yourself, free because of doing that. But ask yourself when you make decisions about things and what you do on a daily basis. Ask about your freedom. I mean, insurance. There's another good one. Is that freedom? That's a racket. It is the same as the mob going to the corner store and saying, hey, you're going to give us the juice every week just to make sure that your store stays intact. You're going to pay the VIG. You know what I mean? That's what insurance is, right? Like I've been saying, like, listen, if I was to start an insurance company, which I can't because I haven't taken their test, right? But if you were to start an insurance company and you were to charge people a 1-year premium and have it payable right then, and then say, listen, if you don't have any claims filed against you this year, the next year it just rolls over. And you don't charge anybody again until they have a claim filed. You would have every single person in this country going through your company. Would they let that happen? Hell no, they won't let that happen because it's a racket. Think about all the money. I can't even imagine. I mean, if I sat down and figured out how much money I've paid in insurance my whole life, I've never had a claim filed against me for anything. I mean, we're talking a lot of money. For what? For nothing. And you just keep paying on it. That's the fucked up thing. You keep paying on it, right? Like the idea is like the collective whole pays in on it, right? And that way, when something does happen with the few people that do happen to get in a fender bender or a wreck or whatever, the fact that everybody's pitched in on the insurance, then it gets paid out, and then that person has to pay a little bit more the next year or whatever. But no, your premiums go up every year, and you keep paying. I mean, I've had one speeding ticket my entire life. One speeding ticket. I mean, all the years in business, never had any kind of an incident. Still had to keep paying that shit. Had to keep that goddamn the certificate of general liability, or I couldn't get jobs. I mean, and then, if you got to get bonded on a job, then there's another, I mean, you got to pay home insurance. You got to pay renter's insurance, property taxes. Even if you own your house outright, you still got to pay them property taxes, son. You don't own that shit. You own your house outright. You still got to pay property tax. Government's got to get their cut. Come on. You think you're free? You think you are in a whole different world of illusion. I mean, I'm just saying, this is some things that, people need to think about this. It's called critical thinking. I mean, look at this. Look at who owns you, who runs you. I mean, sales tax, everything. You get taxed on every fucking thing you do. And it all comes down to that money. And that is the root of the problem. It's the money, and it's a currency system that is not legit. It's not legitimate. Our banking system is not legit. Fractional reserve banking, not legit. Think about what they can take $1,000 deposit and make it into. They keep your $100 in there, and they take your $900, they loan it out to the next guy at 13% interest. Then they put that on their books as now your $1,000 deposit minus the $100 that they kept in the reserve. So now that just turned into $1,800 from nothing. They just turned it into that, right? And the guy that came in and he got the $900 loan, say he put down $200 on it, right? So now they got that down payment. They put that on there. So now your $1,000 loan has gone from $1,000 to $1,800. Now it's up to $2,000 with the down payment. Now they don't give a fuck if that guy fucking defaults. If not, whatever it is that he took the loan out for, they're gonna fucking repossess it, take it back. They got his $2,000. If he doesn't make his payments, he's still paying interest. Guy makes his payments and almost gets there, and then they say, fuck you. You didn't make your payment. We're gonna go take your jalopy back. They go take the car, they auction it off to the next fucking sucker. They've taken your $1,000 and they can legitimately turn it into whatever they want. We don't operate that way. Well, maybe I should be a bank. Well, maybe we should get rid of the banks. Maybe we should get rid of this money system. Maybe we should just take care of one another. That might be a good way to go. Like, I offer this service. This is what I like to do. You offer this service. That's what you like to do. Let's make a trade. I'll build you this in exchange for that. And they say, well, things aren't, things are worth different values. Well, okay, then, okay, well, so many of this is worth so many of that. That's all you got to do. If even that, maybe we should just give to one. Maybe we should just give when we see somebody in need. Maybe we should just make sure everybody's got a fucking roof over their head, food to eat. We have the resources to do it. Everybody could have what they need and what they want. But we have to get out of this scenario that we're in, because the scenario we're in causes war, causes crime. It causes, the racial problems that we have. It causes poverty, and there's no fucking reason in this country that we should have bad neighborhoods. There's no reason that we should have gangs. The necessity for gangs is because of scarcity. Think about it. Why else would you be in a gang? It's because there's safety in numbers, right? So if you're in a situation where, especially, I can't even imagine growing up in like a Compton or a South Central or Watts or, in Detroit or Cleveland or you name it, and, you're a 12-year-old kid, you got brothers and sisters at home, your mom's working 3 jobs, you don't know where your dad is, you're living in a, 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, you don't know what you don't know what you're going to eat from night to night. You're the oldest at 12, whatever. You're going out and you're trying to, you got to go to the store or whatever, the little junior market, and then you get hit up by gang members that are 16, 17. And they tell you, we're jumping you in. And this is all good. You're going to have everything you need, but you don't want to do it. Then say you say no. We're going to go rape your sister, kill your mom, whatever what are you going to do? And then guess what? Now you're going to be a product of the system, because you're going to get busted, right? You're going to get caught up. You're going to kill somebody for the gang. And for what? Because you grew up in a place of scarcity. You were put in positions where you didn't have a choice. So don't talk to me about free will, because there isn't any free will. We don't have free will. These decisions have been made for us already by the powers that be, and they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me. They don't give a fuck about any of us. And so to sit here and get behind somebody like Donald Trump or Joe Biden or any of these politicians, to get behind these people and then want to argue with one another and then hate one another over these people is the silliest thing that you can do. It's absolutely silly. It's ridiculous. It's the reason that we have Fox News and CNN and all this bullshit. And the reason I study it, because I think it's fucking interesting and I want to know the way things work. That's the only reason. Trust me, I don't want to sit here and research this shit all day, but it pisses me off to no end. And the reason that I'm looking into it, and the reason that I study it, and the reason that I've always been kind of fascinated by it is because I want to understand what it is that makes this thing go the way it goes. And I feel like I'm getting closer by the day, and it doesn't make me any happier. I can tell you that much. I'd much rather be doing other things. I'd much rather be riding my dirt bike or, fixing a truck or fucking whatever, watering the grass, fucking drinking a beer. There's tons of other things. I mean, life is too short. But the thing is that we all gotta wake up to this, or we're all in trouble and we're leaving this life is short, And I guess my motivation for even speaking out on it is that I'm a fan of the underdog, and I think most of us out there we are underdogs. Unless you're up there in that upper echelon making millions of dollars, and even then, look at how many people fall, how many people that they think that they've got it all, they're set, and then something happens, something goes wrong, boom, they lose it all. And all of a sudden they're down there with the rest of us. Now, instead of being down there with the rest of us, shouldn't we all just be up there with all of us, like doing well? We have the resources to do it. We have the ability to do it. But for some reason, we have a necessity to have what we call these quote-unquote leaders. We have this mindset that this is what we've got to do. We've entered into this mental agreement from the time we were little kids, right? Like you were told this from the time you were a little kid. And you just bought it as truth. You bought it off as truth, and you signed on to it. Now you don't even think about it. It's just it's ingrained in you. It's it's just one of those, you're just on your own spin cycle. You got Stockholm syndrome. You've begun to think that your captor is your friend. So think about that. Is your captor your friend? If that's the case, you might want to do a little deep diving. You might want to put some thought into this. You might want to think about it. Is your captor your friend? My captor's not my friend, and I'm not being held captive. While I'm in a place where there's a lot of people being held captive, I'm a free operator, and I will be, and I will continue to do so, and I will encourage all of you to do the same. And if something is to come up where that's not going to happen anymore, then guess what? I don't care. Do what you got to do. They've done their worst to me already, anyways. I'm not scared of what they have to offer. It ain't shit, But I want to, you want to raise your kids to be free, right? But the society that you're raising them in right now, it's not. Teachers might have the best intentions, and I think most of them do. Most of them I talk to have got the best of intentions. I've had arguments with some of them, but they're brainwashed because they went through the education system that brainwashed them. When you tell a kid they've got to show their work on something when they already know the answer, that's stupid. I'm an adult. Do I have to show my work if I'm estimating a job? No. If I can pace the thing, talk to the owner, and in my head keep the amount of paces, estimate the height of the roof, or whatever, I'm doing a paint job, walk around, jump in my truck, grab my tablet, get on there, and I've got a fucking itemized estimate sent to that homeowner before I even pull off the site. The other guys are writing on sticky notes trying to figure it out. They're 2-3 days out from me coming up with a number. I got the number right there. Now, how did I do in math class in school? Not very good. It's all about application, how you use it. I've had that argument with math teachers here with my son. Oh, he didn't show his work. I'm like, but his answers were all right. Oh, well, he's got to show his work. Well, why? Well, because we need to see that he's getting it right. I said, well, when it comes time for him to figure out where he does have to show his work, then he'll show his work. It's like when you have the necessity to do something. What do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. If you don't have the necessity, why waste your time in futility? Time is the only commodity that we have. It's not about money, okay? It's not about money. It's not about things. It's not about your possessions or status. Time is what you have. On your dying bed, on the day you die, if you live that life where you're fortunate enough to die in a bed with all your people around you, what are you going to have when you go out? You're going to have the memories of those you loved and those that loved you, and that's going to be it. And that's what you go out of this world with. You don't go out of this world with your bullshit, with your car, with your fucking diamond rings, with your fucking necklaces, with your fucking fruit boots, with your big ass house. No, you don't go out of there. You don't leave with that. You're here and you're going like that. That's all I'm trying to say. It's short, it's fleeting, and it can leave at any fucking second. And most of us are wasting it. And with that in mind, I'm going to quit wasting time here. I'm going to take you out. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, whatever time it is now. I guess it's after midnight, so now it's tomorrow time. That's another thing. What a weird invention that is. We'll get into that on another date. Anyway, if you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you a dime. If you watch it on Spotify, do the same. Follow it on there. It helps me out a lot if you care about doing that. If not, that's cool too. Whatever. Hopefully you got something out of it. If not, then I'm sorry for wasting your time, because time's precious, right? Anyway, as we say from the Mike Files, 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming, be good or be good at it. In all things be kind and do no harm. I'm out.